What is up, guys? Welcome to Believe It, a Naruto podcast. Watchcast?
Insane.
You turned it the fuck on.
That's the attitude that we're running this podcast.
I felt that in my heart.
I'm like used to turning it up way too hard for mics. But yeah, so I'm here with my three pals, and we are just watching some Naruto. Duncan, you want to take this away?
Yeah, hey, I'm Duncan. I think that out of the four of us, I have the most Naruto experience. This is like the first anime that I ever watched when I was like 12 or 13 years old. I vibed extremely hard to it for a very long time, and then dropped off around the time that I went to university, and now we're picking it back up, baby.
You were
You
too
dropped
cool
off.
for Naruto.
Sorry. You dropped off when you went to university?
Yep.
It took that long?
Oh yeah, buddy. I was repping Naruto just like on the low the entire time that you knew me in high school.
Okay.
But then in university, the switch flicked, and you were too cool for Naruto.
Yeah, I mean, I would get drunk and catch up on it sometimes, but
Yeah.
I wasn't a faithful reader anymore.
Okay.
But he's
That
always
checks
been
out.
with you.
Yeah, I mean, he's been with me, and a lot of these characters, rewatching these. So we watched the first 7 episodes of Naruto for this week. I'll
Yes.
say that right now. And watching these episodes, I realize how many of these characters had like formative impacts on me that I am only realizing now. So that's my experience with Naruto. It was my first manga anime. It got me into like a deep weeb phase for like probably a few fucking years.
Many years.
And looking back now, it had, I think, a profound impact on the way that I grew up. So what's everyone else's experience with Naruto?
Cards on the table.
Well, let's just go around the table. Katie, do you want to...
Yeah, because this will be short and sweet. I began watching anime maybe 2 years ago. Is that fair?
Yes.
Like fully maybe 2 years ago. I lived under the shadow of my brother watching anime my whole life. So...
Oh, they don't know. They don't know the spoilers that I am Katie's brother.
They'll learn. It'll come. But yeah, I this is certainly my first time watching Naruto. I have seen a couple other animes, but it's that's neither here nor there. Because I only want to talk about one.
The best
Believe it.
one.
The
Believe
best
it.
one. Believe it.
All right, Liam.
I'm probably the least qualified. I wouldn't say least qualified to talk about.
You're
an
certainly
anime.
the
You're
least
kind of a-
excited.
you're the
I'm
least
least
excited.
excited about to talk about.
But you are a weeb.
Yeah, I am fully.
Yeah.
Mine. I just started way back in the day, young, YTV, watching Inuyasha and shit like that. That was the glory days, and then I was down a rabbit hole. I'm more of like a slice of life sort of anime guy. I wasn't really super into the shonen thing, and then My Hero happened, and we won't talk about that. But I've kind of leaned in to the shonen vibe. I mean,
Yeah.
I think inevitably there's going to be some My Hero references on this show. Just because
let's just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's just
Because I
Let's
feel
just
like
talk-
that is
yeah.
our common bond, pulling us back into kind
Yeah.
of the shonen sphere of anime, is My Hero Academia.
My Hero is the one.
but I mean,
It's been the one.
listen. But as far as like Naruto goes for me, as far as goes, it was kind of the bane of
Sorry,
my
what?
Naruto.
Good.
Listen,
Can we get a clean take of that?
Naruto. I refuse to say it any other way because it was the bane of my existence through like junior high school.
Naruto cockblocked you, didn't he?
He did 100%.
Oh, man.
Trying to make out with a cutie, and she only wanted to watch Naruto, so that's why I pronounce his name like that.
Queen.
Shouldn't that have filled you in on how dope Naruto
No,
is?
it just because I also can hear his voice, right? So you listen to
Every time.
That's a good.
I want to smash this kid.
As things are getting hot and heavy, it's just believe it!
That's a good transition to
Like,
mention that
shut your fucking mouth, dude. Like, run a roundhouse him.
we are watching the dub for this watch.
We're watching the English dub.
Nobody's going to listen to this podcast anyway, so we won't get any pushback for that. But if anyone does and cares to get mad at us and be like, watch subs. I'm not going to do it. I don't know how to read. I refuse to learn.
Illiterate from the time I was born.
I was gonna also say on this podcast that I don't know how to read.
So half of us don't know
So,
how to read. So we
yeah.
can't watch the subs.
75%.
There's
Leave
so
a
little
review,
reading on this table.
But you're out of luck because we won't see it.
I mean, we will. We just won't understand.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. Also, dubs over subs forever.
Maybe late. Listen, maybe late.
Yeah.
But
old dubs are rough.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
I would agree.
And so yeah.
So I don't think you detailed your experience with Naruto.
Oh man.
I also didn't say my name, or I don't think Katie said her name either. So
Yeah.
We've said
we've said
You're Liam.
This is Katie. I'm Liam.
It'll be in
this is
a
the first
description
podcast. It's going to be a little rough.
Probably.
We can all learn.
If you're looking at this
together.
on YouTube, just look down. It'll be a list of our names. And the tonal registers of our voices.
Yeah.
Deep, sexy baritone, that's Dom speaking.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. A girl is Katie. And or excited Duncan.
And then Liam and I fall into other miscellaneous.
So my name is Dom, and I am probably the biggest weeb at the table.
Easily
Can I
the
say?
biggest reader.
Hard,
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah.
hard block that.
I mean, I didn't want to say it for myself, but the unanimous agree is. But
I mean, you said it first.
I mean, I did say Naruto was a formative part of my development.
that's fair.
But
even
even still, easily you.
fuck. But for whatever reason, Naruto has been like the one blemish, the one blind spot on my weebdom, because I've never watched, I've never finished, I've never really cared about Naruto. I believe I've read like maybe less than 100 chapters of the manga and seen even less than that of the show. And I just have never really cared to pick it up. It was just it was my least favorite part of Shonen Jumps, reading them.
That's crazy.
It is kind of crazy. Because like a 12-year-old not being fucking stoked at Naruto seems ridiculous. But yeah, it just like never grabbed me, and I don't even know why. But
it's probably kids at school. Honestly, that was another driving factor.
Because they liked it.
Well,
so
there's some kids that were just like, they leaned too hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They leaned too hard, and for me, I was like, man, I'm trying not to get bullied right now. I got too many fist fights I got to deal with.
Like,
I don't need to add another
it was
layer.
like too cringe.
Yeah.
And then I would go and watch DBZ and like shoot Kamehamehas.
Yeah, well, that's in the privacy of your home.
Naruto is such an easy one to spot with kids, though, because there's so many tells. There's so many like physical tells when you're a huge, like nerdy Naruto fan, and it's like running with your hands behind your back.
Yeah.
The like jutsu signs. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you can immediately identify as being like a Naruto nerd in a way that like other animes maybe don't have in the same way. Like, even Dragon Ball Z, you can try to like throw energy blasts or like go Super Saiyan, but it doesn't have like these poses associated with it.
Also, like, but also imagine like the powering up for like Super Saiyan mode. That's intimidating. Like, if I was about to fist fight a guy and he just starts screeching,
he starts powering up. Holy, I'd be scared.
Whereas if somebody makes like,
if someone Naruto runs,
somebody tries to cast like a fireball jutsu on you,
definitely
like stomp this
just
kid.
vaguely jutsus at you. But yeah, okay. I feel like that's the squad that you're going to be stuck with for the next hour.
Next 2 years.
Oh,
the rest of your life, man. You're in this forever. Death Pact. If you've listened to this first episode,
if you've
made it this far, you're in. Yeah.
Sorry.
Death Pact Jutsu.
You've joined the squad.
So I'm the one who's the most knowledgeable about Naruto out of all of us, for sure.
The Sherpa.
And because of that, I will be leading you up the Naruto mountain as your Sherpa. So, we've watched 7 episodes, which covers from the introduction of Naruto as like a young delinquent to him becoming a genin ninja, getting Kakashi as his teacher and Sakura and Sasuke as his teammates, and eventually starting on their first real mission, which involves them escorting a bridge builder to the land of hidden waves, where they are fought by a bunch of assassins trying to kill him, including Zabuza. So that's sort of the general arc of the episodes that we watched in this episode. So I would just like to say, what are all of your initial thoughts on Naruto so far? Liam seems pained. let's do Liam last.
Okay,
Dom, what
okay.
do you think about Naruto so far?
Man, I like it. It's kind of like a begrudging thing, but I'm really digging it so far.
It is sort of in a way that Dragon Ball Z was, I think, for an earlier generation. This is very like template shonen. Like I
Yes.
think a lot of the modern stuff is really influenced off of some of the things that are happening in Naruto.
Yeah, and like you can really see it, especially with like My Hero Academia, even like Black Clover, and like you really see more of the influence of like Naruto than you do like with old school like shonen. I guess like you don't see
You don't see,
the
like, Yu
Goku
Yu
Vegeta.
Hakusho
You see
yeah.
like Naruto Sasuke in a lot of these characters.
Well, I was watching that, and like I've seen My Hero, but there's so much shit that like is now kind of tropey because of like Naruto, and then coming back to it and watching it for the first time, it's like, oh, that's where this trope started.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I was at too. Like,
So.
I kind of knew like certain characters, like even like Aizawa. You're like, oh, that's just Kakashi.
That's Kakashi,
That
yeah.
is just literally Kakashi.
Yeah, copy
Like,
pasted.
yeah.
Oh, he's got eye things. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
What, he does some eye shit?
That negates
crazy
other abilities. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really cracks me up that, like, watching My Hero, the naming of the quirks has always been really funny to me because they're so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, what's a stupid quirk?
Gene.
Frog.
Yeah, frog. So,
Best genist. Yeah.
quirk, frog. The naming of the jutsus is kind of like bringing that back for me.
Yeah.
I think technique naming is a trope as old as time, but they certainly they go hard with it in Naruto.
They do,
because
yeah.
everybody eventually has like 50 jutsu that they can all do,
Yeah.
and each one of them has
A hilariously apt name.
Sexy jutsu.
Fuck. All right.
Yeah. So Liam, how do you feel about Naruto so far?
Okay, it's a weird fucking animal for me to deal with because it's like I look at the whole thing and I like there's certain things that just cause me such rage, but also like I'm getting hit with like Kakashi. I'm like, I fucking love Kakashi. Even back in the day, I'm like, who's that guy? And they're like, oh, that's Kakashi. I'm like, well, he's the coolest dude in the show, obviously, because look at him.
Yeah.
That man.
Just look at him.
He's a fucking babe, first of all.
He's a,
Hey,
he is a
is
babe.
a
He is
babe.
Preaching to the
hottie,
choir,
which I
man.
His voice is smooth as hell.
I didn't realize that as a kid, but like
That he was a
Kakashi's a
babe?
smoke show.
Total babe.
Yeah.
And like the lifting of the fucking eye
Yeah,
patch,
we'll-
whatever.
we'll
Yeah.
get
Yeah, the
into
reveal.
that.
We'll get into this. So I guess let's start breaking down these episodes. We've gotten these initial takes. So episode 1, enter Naruto Uzumaki. This episode shows the nine-tailed beast gets sealed away in a baby, and then we are flashed forward like 12 or 13 years later.
Yeah.
Naruto is this orphan delinquent kid who keeps causing trouble to get attention. He's got basically one teacher that cares about him, but even still, he's a complete failure of like a student and a ninja. He still wants to become Hokage, which is like the best ninja in the village, so that everyone will finally respect him and stop treating him like trash. He, after failing his like graduation test in the Ninja Academy, he is convinced by an evil professor to like steal a sacred scroll, and he sort of convinces him that if he can steal the sacred scroll, learn a technique from it, he will still get to be a ninja even though he failed the test. This guy's scheme is, of course, to kill Naruto, blame him for stealing the scroll, and then take the
it
scroll for himself. But he is interrupted by Iruka, who is the teacher that actually gives a shit about Naruto. They sort of have a battle. Naruto reveals a technique that is sort of his one move going forward, at least in these next few episodes.
Yeah,
which is
I
the
did.
Ninjutsu.
Excuse you. He has 2 moves.
Sorry, yeah, he does have 2 moves. We will get to that in episode. We'll talk about that in episode 2.
He has 2 very good moves.
He can make multiple copies of himself that he learned from this scroll. Naruto succeeds in defeating the big bad of the first episode, and he does pass and get to become a beginner ninja. So that's sort of the overarching plot of the first ep.
Listen, I'll just say it. The first couple episodes were like the worst to get through because it just seemed. I just every episode I was like, I fucking hate this kid. I fucking hate this kid.
You didn't like episode 1?
No,
like,
listen.
Really?
Because I don't feel sympathetic for Naruto at all. 0%.
You don't feel
Oh,
sympathetic?
dude, he got bullied.
He's an orphan kid who has a demon sealed inside of him, and the entire town
and
alienates him and hates him.
Okay, listen. Here's
And
my
he doesn't know why.
He doesn't know why.
Okay, but he
why.
also doesn't try ever, and he doesn't go to class.
He does try. He works super hard.
He did not go to class.
They
He
say
tries
several
really
times
hard.
in
He
these
said
next 7
believe it
episodes.
like 4 times. dude.
In these 7 episodes, they reference like a couple times how hard Naruto trains.
But they also reference the fact that he just doesn't, like, he skips school purposely because he's like, oh, I don't, like, I'm the best. And
Yeah,
then when he has to do the hard shit, he just like, oh, I don't know how.
He's got developmental issues. He's a 13-year-old with no parents, dude.
Yeah, well, he also has an apartment, so he's
well-
doing better than me. So, yeah, no, I have no sympathy for that idiot. 0%.
all right.
I can't believe you're coming in with such heat on
well, okay,
episode 1.
listen.
Yeah.
Katie, how did you feel about Naruto?
So I actually love him, A, and B, I think he's an idiot savant.
He kind of is.
He
Yeah.
definitely is. He definitely
yeah.
is.
Definitely is an idiot savant. But so in the first episode, in like the first 4 minutes, there's the scene where he's like running away.
Yeah, he fully jukes out 2 adult
Yeah,
ninjas.
he fully does.
yeah,
and so
yeah.
he has this invisibility cloak. What are those?
They're just, it's literally just like a painted
It's just a
thing that
fence.
he-
Just,
okay.
yeah.
But
So he pulls up a blanket in front of him, of a wooden fence that is painted like a wooden
Like
fence
the
to
blanket
avoid
and
these
just
ninja.
fucking.
But-
And this is after he defaces like the ninja equivalent of Mount Rushmore, basically.
Yes.
my point is that he hops through the frame and then appears behind the cloak or behind the
Yeah.
blanket. So I'm pretty sure he already knew
I also made note
clone
of this.
jutsu or like replacement jutsu. Like he knows something.
They say
Yeah.
he's a bad student. Those 2 are like adult qualified ninjas.
Yeah,
They
and
have
he's-
the headband. He absolutely fucking evades both of them like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Listen, like it says that, but like there's also like just levels of like shit where like he's just not as good as the other students. So maybe
He's not a
also
good.
just like
He's
the
not a good
two
book learner.
Yeah,
dude.
but
But it means
Liam,
he has
That's
to
not true
try
because he
hard.
looked at the scroll and just fucking did the fucking
Well, because
clone
that was
jutsu.
raw determination. That's power, man.
Listen,
No, but
I
he's
think
like he's
I
not
hate
good in
that.
an academic setting.
yeah,
But
like
I-
you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Sometimes you don't know how to take a test, but you know
Yeah,
the
you know-
stuff.
I mean, listen, I don't appreciate it because like if he could have just learned like via like if he just took 2 minutes and learned the fucking basics, he could have just been regular ninja boy. But then he had to go
Well, that's
fucking.
not a fun
They do.
main
They do
character.
make a point. So the
that would be
test.
sad. Sasuke as the main
The test
character.
that he takes
honestly.
is
He's just like you just do the fucking thing.
the
Yeah.
final test is clone jutsu, which you have to make a replica of yourself that's like an illusion. It's not a physical form, but it looks like you. The students have to make 3 copies of themselves. He's unable to do it. He makes like 1
Yeah,
barely, and it kind of sucks. But it does make note in the show also that it is his worst jutsu. Like he says that before the test. He's like, "Oh fuck,
Oh,
I low rolled
yeah,
this
yeah.
one. I suck at this." So it
I
could
wish,
just be that
I
he's
wish the
bad
test
at
was
this
sexy
particular.
jutsu.
Yeah, because in the first
If it was
episode,
sexy
right,
jutsu,
he
it
does
would've-
do like a transformation where he turns into a naked woman.
He does a very
and he
good
like
sexy
nails
jutsu.
it. Yeah, and that's a technique that he invented.
Yeah. So like yeah, he's an absolute icon. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's kind of a
don't-
savant.
listen.
He's the Goku of this story. He is just like a weird little boy that's
He's
like way too
stupid.
powerful.
He's an idiot
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
but he's like a very weirdly talented.
I'm just
ninja.
saying.
Something-
I have a
something
hate list.
there.
I have a hate list, and
Something
he's on the
there.
top of it. Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
we'll get
It
into your.
says,
We'll get into your
sure,
hate
sure.
list.
it says
Sure,
Naruto,
sure,
dumb
sure.
bitch.
We'll get
That's-
into your hate list as it goes. But
It also
so,
says Sakura, dumb bitch.
No, it says
Which,
Oh yeah,
well,
that
should.
I would like to talk about.
Holy shit.
I would like to talk about the progression that the Mizuki, the like evil character, goes through in this episode. He heel turns so quickly. There's one scene of him talking to Naruto and be like, "We should let him pass," and then he immediately is like, "I'm gonna kill Naruto. Fuck this bitch." And that's like 2 minutes apart from
That's
each
me.
other.
It
I
is
did
also
not
so-
remember that happening that quickly.
Yeah, and it is like so out of nowhere too, because like he's not really introduced. He just comes into the plot, and
Yeah.
then he's immediately just like fooled him. It's like,
I'm
who
gonna fuck
are
Naruto.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like
he-
Mizuki's crazy.
It
And
is-
then I think they like do they kill him?
They like beat him up, and it's sort of implied that he
Leaves or
goes off to
something?
prison or
Okay.
wherever. Maybe they kill him.
Does he come back
after?
Maybe
ever?
they kill him.
Mizuki does not return. This
Oh,
is a
he's
one.
dead.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
he's
assuming
dying.
he's-
He's fucking
that's a
dead.
shame.
Yeah, he's dead.
Mizuki-
That's a shame.
He's dead.
They probably kill him afterwards off screen.
Yeah.
The grown up ninjas.
A lot of stuff happens in this first episode off screen. He steals a scroll. You don't see any of that. I guess if you're going to believe it in Naruto,
There's a lot that they have to fit into this episode.
That's
but
true.
that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like Naruto
Stole
competently
this-
steals a scroll.
yeah,
That's like very well guarded.
you think
hypothetically.
the current like Hokage guy would like keep that shit on lockdown, like keep it on.
He probably does. Like, I think that Naruto broke into this place to steal this.
He also has
scroll.
like a scrying orb, and he just let it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
and
is
then
just like
I was
watching
confused.
I
everything
didn't remember.
happen.
And
I
then
didn't
was
remember that
confused.
orb at all.
Yeah.
I made a note of that when I was
Yeah.
watching. I was like, "This,
Like, where the hell? What the
like,
hell?
what
What
the fuck?
is-
Is this an anime only thing for like a narrative? So like,
I
let the
don't even
Hokage
rem-
narrate, maybe, because
I
I
don't
have
remember.
no recollection of this scrying
Yeah,
orb.
same.
But he uses it a lot in these episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know like why, because he's never like active in the plot with it. He's never like, Naruto, I saw you do this. He's just
just
like
peeping.
watching.
He's a
I
pervert.
think
He's
it,
just
I
like
think
a
it-
pervert.
I think it must
Yeah.
be.
He's
He's
a
gotta
pervert.
be a
I think
Yeah,
it must be an anime only thing, so that there can be like
Like an audience,
a
like, thing.
narrator
Yeah.
in a way that they're.
Gotcha.
I do have in my notes pervy crystal ball.
Yeah,
So.
he is.
Yeah, there we go,
He is a
there we go.
pervert. In episode 2, Naruto uses sexy jutsu on him, and he gets fucking owned.
Can we talk about how badass
Well, wait.
Iruka is?
Well, okay.
I would like to say first of all
Sorry, go ahead.
that I'm nostalgic for an era of Naruto where all it takes to be a big bad guy is to have a fat shuriken.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
the white-haired guy has nothing going for him except that he has a big ninja star,
Yeah.
and that's
Oh,
like
yeah,
enough.
he's got like
That'll do.
two.
Well,
He kind of throws
Yeah.
it like a bitch, because if you think that thing's so big, the momentum would build up and just cut fucking what's his face in half. But no, it
So-
goes like an inch into
This
it.
Oh
is-
man, I
is
thought
the
that it
Iruka
did kill him
conversation.
too.
Yeah.
Like I was heartbroken at that scene because I was like, he's dead, and then he just like stands up and like doesn't even care. I was like,
Can you imagine getting hit with a giant shuriken? And just
alright.
like, he threw that
Yeah.
like a bitch.
I thought
So-
that was a death scene for sure.
So
on
it's a scene where
Naruto's dad.
Iruka throws himself in front of Naruto to save him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proving once and for all that Iruka is the dad of the show. And it's, you know,
Truly.
very. I honestly like. This is what I texted you guys before we started recording that I think I have a different watching experience than you guys do, having had this like in my past.
Yeah.
I like almost teared up when Iruka took the shuriken for Naruto. Like episode 1, I was
Oh,
like,
dude, me
oh,
too.
boy.
Me too. I was like, and like the piano theme comes in
Oh,
too,
yeah.
and it's just like it's
Yeah.
an emotional moment.
I do have a note that says piano fight sound slaps. So-
Yeah, the soundtrack bangs.
The soundtrack does bang. I think I wrote that like 4 times, like maybe every episode.
Every episode.
I was
Hey,
like,
soundtrack
holy
bangs.
shit, good song. But the piano song really slaps and really pulls at my heartstrings in a way I was not expecting.
Here's my first theory. I think Aruki Sensei is he's gonna die for sure at some point. He's gonna be like murdered by someone, and that's gonna maybe be like a driving force for.
Naruto's gonna
For
lose
Naruto.
dad number 2. That's your theory?
Well, yes, by something. Something's gonna happen. Like later on, I'm guessing. Like when he's more of like an adult, someone's gonna be like, "Hey, is this your dad?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like,
Not anymore.
Okay.
But he's not even in like the next episodes. Like I don't know if he comes
he's around,
back.
He's
though.
so- yeah,
Okay,
he-
okay.
Because he's
and
talks.
When,
Yeah.
and when Kakashi
Okay,
was like being a
okay.
bitch, being like,
Oh.
and he's like, "Oh, I can't let
Yeah.
my boy."
Because I guess
And
he's
he's
talking
there-
to the Hokage, right?
Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
there when they get the mission to bodyguard the bridge builder. later
Right,
on. Like
okay,
he
so
stays
he's
present in the show.
present,
He's,
he's present.
not a main character,
Yeah.
He is a dad character.
but he is sort
He's
of
a
he
dad.
is a dad character. He stays around.
I mean, that's basically
Is there
a-
anything that we?
a giant pervert toad.
Oh
Giant.
yeah. So the shot opens actually before Naruto's born. The first thing that you see is this big nine-tailed fox destroying a village, and the fourth Hokage, who is like the leader of their ninja village, is standing on top of a huge toad fighting him.
And I know it's a pervert. I just got a feeling about it.
You just don't like that toad.
It's just
Just on the
weird.
toad.
Yeah, that's theory number 2.
It's
Gigantic
toad, dude.
pervert. Yeah, toad.
All right.
That's
toad-
interesting. So
toad
we're
pervert.
associating toads with perversion.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a fair theory.
Listen, I've read about a kappa once or twice, and that's a toad.
I
man.
know the shit a kappa do.
Okay, there's a lot of butt stuff, and I'm not into it.
Does anyone have
Whoa.
any final thoughts on episode 1 before we?
I really liked episode 1.
Episode 1 is great. It's a
Episode
really
1
good
was
pilot.
a real solid like opening anime episode. Like I feel like you got the gist of Naruto as a character. I feel like you got kind of the sense of like the village and like the adventure of the show. I liked it.
Naruto said the phrase, "Believe it," 3 times.
3 times? That's low.
3 times.
That's
That is
low.
low.
Only 3?
Yeah.
In the first episode,
Okay.
3 times.
Okay.
And maybe they didn't warm into it yet.
Maybe they're kind of on the fence.
We don't know.
was still a
Katie has a running Believe It per episode count. So we'll get these numbers as we go. And on that note, let's move on to episode 2. My name is Konohamaru. And okay, look, I know that this is early to fully skip an episode of this anime.
But if you're
But
going
also
to skip
petition
one,
to
Skip this episode. This episode sucks.
Do you know why
Yeah, it
they put
wasn't
this
great.
this character in here? Because they're trying to make someone more like unlikable than
the Naruto.
Oh, I mean,
100%.
Konohamaru fucking blows.
Is he
Actually,
like a thing
on-
ever moving past this?
We should establish, how much do you guys want me to tell you about, like, whether these characters are important characters?
I
No,
don't wanna
Konohamaru, nothing. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to exist.
I will say on my hate list,
To
it's
me.
still Naruto number 1.
Ahead of
Even
Konohamaru.
after-
Guy?
Listen,
That's
listen,
insane.
Suck my dick. That's a biased take.
listen. It might
Yeah,
be,
that's rude.
but I stand by it.
It's bullshit.
Okay.
Konohamaru sucks.
I do have his dog shit stupid
But
kid. That
his-
is no.
So Konohamaru is the grandson of the 3rd Hokage. He's like 6 years old in the show, and he keeps trying to fight his grandfather to
Yeah.
like become the Hokage, which is not how it works, by the way.
Well, I mean,
You can't
Okay,
just
I
because
do
if that
have a
was how it
note.
works, people would try to fight the Hokage all
okay,
the
so
time.
the crazy thing about this fucking episode is Naruto's being the one to explain, like, you have to work hard, be
Yeah.
diligent, and that bitch
So-
ass hasn't worked hard a day in his life.
So I
Yeah,
hate
that's
this
true.
episode so much that I skipped the summary. Let me go through it.
Oh,
Naruto-
wait. Can I interrupt you? The summary for the episode, like just on streaming, is I had to write it down because it's so just dumb. Naruto finally graduates from the Ninja Academy and claims to know it all.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
That's,
sick.
yeah.
We did it.
So
That's it,
here's
folks.
how
Believe
here's
it.
how I would summarize this episode. Naruto graduates from the Ninja Academy. He's going to become a ninja in the next episode.
Sexy
This is
jutsu,
like
sexy
the gap
jutsu, sexy
between-
jutsu, the
yeah,
end.
this is
Yeah.
the horniest. This is
yeah.
the horniest episode of
He just
Naruto.
teaches the kid to be a pervert
I-
for like 20 minutes.
Okay, let me walk through
okay.
the plot.
I'm
So
sorry.
so he's talking to the 3rd Hokage. Konohamaru is introduced trying to attack the Hokage.
Yes.
He like trips and gets all upset. He yells at Naruto, and Naruto punches this kid in the face in front of like his grandson, his teacher, and God himself. Like just
Yeah.
clocks this kid, which is like a big W for
Yeah.
Naruto.
Maybe his first.
Maybe his
in this
first
show.
W.
First big W.
Oh no.
Well, no. Well,
Shadow
he-
Clone Jutsu was
Yeah, Shadow
so
Clone Jutsu was hype. But this like disrespect that he shows to Konohamaru, it's like the only time Konohamaru's
negs
ever
him.
experienced this because everybody's so scared of him because he's the grandson of the Hokage.
Yeah.
So he starts to look up to Naruto and insist that he train him. Specifically, that he teaches him the sexy jutsu, which we've referenced previously. It's a jutsu where Naruto can transform into into a naked, sexy woman. And it works so well on all of the characters, which... Let me just... I wrote this down as a note.
Every single character.
I mean-
Every single character falls for this. I noted this down, though. Like, they're not being fooled, right? They know that it's a 12-year-old boy
Yes.
that is illusioned to
Yes.
look like an adult naked woman.
Yeah.
So, like, there is... That's never... They never get into the morals in any sort of way about the sexy jutsu, but, like, that's whack, right? Like, this would not... this plot would not fly in a post-Me Too
But what about
world.
what about the harem jutsu? Okay, that's
Oh,
So-
God, we'll get
Yeah,
into
so-
that.
So
yeah.
the grand reveal. I don't want to spend that much time on this episode, but the grand reveal of this episode is that Naruto can use Shadow Clone and multiply himself, and then use the transformation sexy jutsu on every one of his clones,
Yes.
creating like 12 identical naked women that all like fawn over the target, and then because it's anime rules, they like get a nosebleed and die.
I don't remember if it was this episode specifically, but I'm pretty sure it was. When the Hokage is watching through his like looking glass or whatever, he's just
It
like,
is this episode.
that would work on me.
Yeah, fucking crazy. And he Naruto's like 13 years old. Like the bulk of this episode is them like looking at porn, trying to sneak into women's bathhouses,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
just peeping women on the street and transforming into
being
them.
perverts.
I was gonna make a joke about the sexy jutsu, like Naruto being like a trans icon, like gender non-binary fucking goat, but
He's just a 13-year-old.
yeah,
boy.
upon looking at like the execution of it, I don't even think it's so bad that I can't even goof about it. It's just gross.
Yeah.
And
We
he,
can't
not
even
only
give
is
it
he
to
a
him.
13-year-old transforming into a naked woman, he's teaching like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, no, 9-year-old.
Is he
also
nine?
do-
It is the worst developed idea. Really, let's teach a 9-year-old to be a sexy woman.
Like episode 2, they do this.
Yeah, I
this
feel like-
feels like a filler episode, and it's the second episode.
Yeah,
of
My,
the
that
series.
was my
notes,
thought.
My notes are, how is this episode 2?
Yeah.
is what I have written.
Like no kidding.
Yeah. So and like the funniest thing I found about like what is it like what is his name whatever
Konohamaru.
Yeah, Konohamaru. Them to be like, we're gonna be, rivals. You're my rival, I'm your rival. This is good, and the implications of what they're trying to push is that there's gonna be a fight between them somewhere down the road where they will fight choose Hokage, but that absolutely will not
Who's
happen.
Hornus? Your theory is that will not come to pass.
Yeah, that will never happen. And if it does, it'll be like Naruto just fucking kicking him in the head.
It honestly
and then
felt
that's
like
it.
filler.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it
we
did
skipped
really feel like
a fair
filler
amount of
episode.
stuff in this episode, but I'm down to just keep skipping it and move on to
Yeah,
episode
I will
uh,
say all ninjas are perverts. That's
all ninjas are perverts.
Maybe all ninjas are perverts.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I just want to say this is like we watched it on Netflix, but in the beginning intro of the show, there's like the close up of Naruto's face, and he's like the come on that with the butt rock.
Oh,
so
my
jarring
God.
just to see look up, come on his face, not his
Yeah.
voice.
It's a bad
'Cause
bad credit sequence. It's a bad title sequence.
I'll tell you what is growing on me. It's probably the only thing I like about
Really?
the show. Right
Really?
now.
I
It sounds
hate
like
it.
Japanese Bruce Springsteen.
I know.
It is.
I know.
It is awful.
It is like a weird vibe.
It was this episode that I was like, oh, this is actually the theme song, because
Yeah.
I thought it was just like butt rock at the first episode, like just.
But
a
this is
thing.
at least making me realize, like, anything I see that I don't like, I'm like, okay, this was made like a decade
Oh,
ago.
you
Yeah,
like it
right.
because it helps to date
nearly,
it.
Yeah.
nearly
Yeah.
2
Yeah,
decades.
2 decades
and, like,
ago.
and it kind of like I have a feeling that I want to hate the show just because my past about it. But like the one thing that's kind of endearing and kind of funny to me every time is just like the intro. Yeah, it's and then
Like, it's so bad, and it just like doesn't fit the show at all. But that's fine.
also, there is porn, like active porn, that is like confirmed in the show. 'Cause
Yes.
There's like a
Yeah, they like go buy some Playboys.
Yeah.
We're
And-
done talking about this. It's
Yeah,
pervy.
we're done talking about this.
It's pervy as fuck. The episode sucks. Naruto says believe it 5 times.
Okay.
Konohamaru says believe it once too, at least.
Oh, does that count?
Yeah, I don't have a character believe it count. I'm
Oh,
just
it's just a
counting believe
net.
it.
It's
Five
aggregate believe it.
times.
so.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So there was
5.
also time I wrote down specifically where he said like believe in me, but I wanted him to say believe it in me.
Believe it in me.
Yeah.
That would
Oh,
save
yeah.
the episode for sure.
I do want to say that the best part about this episode was Naruto was like, you only need one thing as a ninja, and that's hard work and guts. And the the fucking stupid
Shonen.
kid is like, that's
That's
two
2.
things. And that was just a
Yeah.
good bit.
That is a
I don't
huge
know.
shonen protagonist energy. Naruto is the protagonist before Midoriya or Deku from My Hero
Hero.
Academia
We know.
broke the glass ceiling of like shonen protagonists being allowed to be smart.
Honestly, yeah.
So this is still firmly in the era of like dumbass shonen protags,
Yeah.
and Naruto is a perfect embodiment of that. He is the dumbest bitch alive.
Well, because it's just
Yeah.
like Naruto, Luffy, and everyone directly
Goku,
after
fucking-
Dragon Ball
yeah.
is just Goku.
Luffy.
He's
the One Piece.
One Piece.
No.
Oh.
The pirate
Oh,
boy.
I never would
that's-
have
Yeah,
Hey,
don't worry
that's-
about
hey,
it.
that's
This is
another one.
we
Who's
will not be-
Luffy? You're
we
gonna
will
get our
not-
podcast
I'm
canceled
actually-
right off the fucking get-go.
Bro, I'm actually gonna say I'm banning One Piece references on this podcast. We will not have Luffy talk in this house.
Okay. This is a Naruto only household.
Oh,
And my
so
hero.
episode 3, Sasuke and Sakura,
friends with
friend
benefits.
or foe.
Oh,
Friends with
Jesus
benefits.
Friends
Christ.
with
I
benefits. That's-
have some notes
So
about this.
okay, I'm gonna walk through the events of this episode. So this is the episode where Naruto officially becomes a ninja.
Yeah.
Yes.
He goes through the ceremony. He gets his little headband that we will see for the rest of the series,
That
the
was
little
cute.
Leaf Village headband. And then the young ninjas all get separated into groups of 3. We meet Sakura and Sasuke, who are Naruto's teammates. We also meet Ino, the blonde girl with
she's
no
so
pupil.
cool.
Yeah, she's
so cool.
yeah.
Well, I mean, she hasn't been.
Listen, she's
Yeah.
way cooler.
Elaborated
Hey, she's
upon.
way cooler than the other 2 horny girls for our other 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, we'll get into that.
We'll
because I
we'll
actually-
get into characters, but
We'll
keep
get into
going
characters
with the
in a
description.
second. But yeah, so she's Sakura's kind of rival, it's set up to be. Rival in life and in love, because they both are competing for Sasuke's affection.
Yeah.
Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura end up on Team 7. Sasuke's the bad boy, kind of like cool, distant
I
protagonist.
don't think you need to tell the podcast.
Everybody
who
who's listening to the
Sasuke
podcast
is.
knows who Sasuke is.
Yeah.
I have a note in here,
No
though,
offense.
that says that Naruto and Sasuke are gay and in love,
I think I have that
setting the
note,
tone
too.
for the rest of the series. They do kiss in this episode. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
Both their
it's an
first
accidental
kisses, I
kiss,
think
but they
it's
are gay
implied.
and in love.
I say
Oh,
good on
who's
them
that?
for making them kiss in
No,
episode 3.
Yeah.
Shikamaru, that guy,
Shikamaru.
the one who knocks fucking Naruto
Yeah,
into
the
the kiss.
yeah.
That's my boy.
No, that's not Shikamaru.
Oh,
Shikamaru comes up and gives Naruto shit, and he's like, "Why are you here, you fucking failure?"
he's got the ponytail, right?
Yeah, but that was
The
another
one
guy
that's
with
in
the ponytail.
Ito.
Yeah. That's my
Yeah,
fucking
he's
boy.
he's
That's
cool.
my
He's
fucking
cool.
boy.
I do like
He
her
is
squad
cool.
a lot.
Yeah,
He's
your
like
squad is
a-
much cooler than
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
my Naruto
He's a
squad.
Big
lazy,
agree.
kind of like laid back.
Love him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's
he's
great.
He's
He's-
gonna be
I-
in the show.
I stand.
I was kind of like, oh.
So they get put into a group, and then the rest of this is sort of discussing their dynamic.
Yeah.
So we learn that Sakura is very insecure about her forehead as she's sitting on
Oh
a
my
bench.
Back off, forehead.
Sasuke-
I have back off forehead in my notes.
Sasuke will never love me. My forehead's too big.
Yeah.
Naruto goes and fights Sasuke. Actually beats Sasuke. Naruto is getting a lot of W's in these early episodes.
He does actually.
because he actually
fuck up
manages to get
Sasuke.
the better of Sasuke
Yeah, and he
like, tie
kisses,
him
and
up.
he also kisses him.
And he also kisses him. So that's 2 wins for Sasuke or for Naruto. Well, they're also wins for Sasuke.
Oh! There's another line when he when Naruto's like, I want to be like better than Sasuke, and he's like I don't want to be a slug like Sasuke. Like,
I
Slug
think I
like
wrote
Sasuke.
that down too.
I have back off forehead and a slug like
there's
Sasuke.
a
That's
lot
all.
of good fucking digs.
Why
here.
does a great ninja like me have to be with a slug like Sasuke?
So
some good fucking
Some good
digs?
digs.
I'm rewinding a little bit, but there's also a point where they're describing Sasuke, and somebody says he's the only survivor of the Uchiha clan.
Yes.
And I wrote that anime basically has a "must be this orphan to enter" sign on the door. Like,
Yeah.
both Naruto and Sasuke, no
Yeah.
parents, totally
Yeah.
alone in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, an introduction to this episode is like an introduction to all the what are the Gonin, the top tier
Jonin.
Jonin. They're all hot.
Oh yeah, the Jonin are all hot.
They're all hot.
So Katie and Liam, I want to press you for a second. What do you know about the Uchiha clan?
Is that Sasuke's clan?
Yeah,
That's
aside
Sasuke's
from the
clan.
outside of this pool of episodes, what do you know? Anything?
Let me just check my
Basically,
notes.
yeah. I got that Sasuke's a bitch, and that's basically my opinion of the clan.
So you guys have no
no
operating
zero
knowledge
percent.
of the
Okay, all I
Uchihas.
know is that Sasuke wants to kill someone because
Kill the
Yeah,
he wants to
whoever.
avenge his
He
clan.
wants to avenge his
and
clan.
kill the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
the
That's
rest
it.
of this episode, Naruto beats up Sasuke, transforms into him with the transformation jutsu, and goes and talks to Sakura because
Oh
he's got
my-
a crush on Sakura, she's got a crush on Sasuke.
Love triangle.
He wants to figure out what's the deal.
Where's that? Yeah.
So they talk. She talks about how Naruto sucks and is annoying, and it kind of hurts Naruto's feelings. But then they almost kiss when he's transformed as Sasuke,
And she-
which is like some-
Because he has the most fucking game ever and comes at her straight with Sakura, your forehead is so wide and charming.
and then
It makes me feel like kissing it.
which Sakura had imagined
said.
moments before
Yeah.
he would say exactly, and then there's a beat, and he says, "That's some stupid shit Naruto would say."
Naruto
As
invented
no- like-
forehead kisses.
Also, there's the weird thing that kind of jarred me in this whole episode is the amount of times that Naruto has to shit, and you can just see him in
Well,
the
Liam-
Yeah, so
pants
Liam-
down.
Liam,
let me
Liam,
let me work through- let me
Liam,
work
it's
through the plot,
because
guys.
it's because he ate ramen and spoiled milk for breakfast.
Let me- let's
Even if the milk was good, that's not a good breakfast.
Did you also notice that he opened the ramen and it was steaming and with water?
Yo, sick. I wish it happened like that. in
So
real life.
Naruto's about to kiss Sakura as Sasuke, which is like some Revenge of the Nerds, like weird sort of sexual assault stuff that, again, second count of this would not fly in a post-Me Too world.
Yeah.
And then he gets really bad diarrhea and has to fuck off.
Are we canceling Naruto?
This is where he meets. Yeah, this is a cancel Naruto podcast. This is where he meets back up with like regular Sasuke.
Yeah.
They almost fight again. Naruto gets diarrhea again. Real Sasuke goes and talks to Sakura, who's like shit talking Naruto, and she's like, he's such a bitch because he's an orphan. All orphans are stupid. I hate orphans. Showing the least amount of social awareness that we've seen in a character so far, which will be a trend for Sakura going forward.
Yeah, she did jump to first place on my list, and
she's
bitch ass
of hated characters.
Yeah,
I feel really bad because they do her dirty.
Yeah,
she's the only girl in the show for a while.
Yeah,
and she sucks.
She sucks.
She does suck.
Because she would know that Sasuke's an orphan, right? She's obsessed with him.
Yeah.
She would know that his clan's wiped out,
I
and she just goes off on how all orphans are like ill-bred little fucks.
I did like how Sasuke just flamed her though. Like, I don't want to fucking talk to your bitch ass.
Yeah, he did get really mad.
At first, I thought it was like Naruto doing it again. But no, it was.
It was real
like 3
life.
seconds
Sasuke.
later, it was like he meets up with him. He's like, "What's up?" And he's like, "I have to shit again before I fight you."
So that's basically this episode. We just kind of get to know the main boys.
I will say, with the fucking the belt headband, she wears it as a fucking
I think you
belt.
just like because she's the hottest girl.
No, I
Yeah.
like it because
I think you found a waifu.
I found a
I
wife.
think
No,
Ino's your waifu.
listen.
Okay, this is a good episode though to identify
Waifus.
my waifu, which I forgot about this until I saw her on screen.
Yeah.
Hinata was absolutely my first crush.
Yeah.
Oof.
I do not know who that is.
That's okay. It's the girl. With no pupils and black hair who has a huge crush on Naruto.
She's the one who's
she has
really
like 2
hard.
lines in these 7 episodes.
And it's
She's
like,
super in love with Naruto.
Yeah.
I had a tremendous crush on her as a kid, all the way through the series.
She's so weird.
I have her in my notes as really weird Naruto stalker.
Yeah.
And
I knew-
this class is a lot.
I knew you guys would push back on me for this. I knew I would get some pushback from this. I'm just speaking my truth. I was super into her as a kid.
As a kid.
In the time skips, I'm super into adult Hinata now. Like,
Yep.
she's the S tier for me, beginning
for
to end of the
waifus?
show. Yeah,
Okay.
and like,
Listen, I don't
I forgot about her until I rewatched this show. Looking back, I am almost like stressed out how much of my real life romantic choices might have been informed by this first crush on. Also,
I hope she hears this, bro.
I fully
to all of my ex-girlfriends, I'm so sorry.
I wanted Hinata, and I took it out on you.
I don't appreciate calling my fucking waifu, and she's like 13. That's gross, man.
Well, listen, they time skip up to
Hey,
being adults at
that's
certain
fair.
points if they survive that far.
Dude,
Yeah. Listen,
look.
I saw a fight video at a cabin one time. I know what's up.
Waifu is just a term. It's not really an age thing.
Listen,
Yeah, she can be
Sasuke's my
your
waifu.
Sasuke's my
platonic
waifu.
waifu until she becomes of age.
Oh, you
That's-
just groom your waifu?
Yeah, you can groom your waifu.
Oh.
Listen, we're gonna have to put just an understanding about we're gonna have to put an understanding about the age thing because I'm gonna make Katie give me a list of her favorite boys and in this era
That
they
doesn't
are
mean
all
anything.
13.
My list of favorite boys.
is
Say it.
Kakashi number 1.
Well, we haven't met.
What is your list of favorite boys?
All
have
I'm gonna
met
say is
Kakashi.
that it doesn't have to be creepy or sexual.
Sure, it doesn't have to be.
I do
but
vibe
My
with
boys,
Ino.
my
And
boys are my
Ino
boys.
is top tier for me too.
Yeah,
actually.
Hell yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Terrible.
That was just a handshake.
So
between Ino boys.
believe it count for this episode?
3.
3.
Okay, so we're up to.
We're putting lower numbers than I guess they are only like 20 minutes long each.
Well,
For me-
stay tuned.
Oh.
Just you
no.
fucking wait.
I think it was around here that I was really noticing like the uses of believe it because he'll just be like mid sentence believe it and keep going with what he's saying,
Yeah.
but not even like.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
always punctuation.
Like
But
I wonder.
sometimes believe it. It is punctuation.
I might miss. I fully might miss some because sometimes he does
He
just
sneaks
slip
them
them
in.
in.
We-
He sneaks them in.
Yeah.
I got who's Chogi? Is he that?
Choji, he's the
Choji,
he's the fat boy. He likes to eat. He is on Shikamaru and Inu's team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
They
a bro
are-
too.
he's-
That's
their
a stacked
teammate.
squad.
Don't get it twisted. You are going to like Team 8 better than you like Team 7. I can already tell.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you
He
right
already
now.
fucking
Liam is
does.
fully sold.
Top three, my top
Our
three
all
like most
teammate.
hated characters in the show right now is
Are they?
Sakura is number one, Naruto is number two, Sasuke is number three.
Sasuke's number 3.
Fuck off.
What?
Do I?
Fuck off.
Do you want to know why?
No,
That's impossible.
Listen,
let's get
I
into this
barely-
later.
You
'cause
are
I-
Sasuke.
Table that, actually, because we need to work through these whole episodes,
Okay.
but, like, what the fuck? Okay, episode 4. Pass or fail survival test. This is where we meet Kakashi formally. He is their teacher. He is the... anyone who's unfamiliar with
He's my
Naruto,
waifu.
I don't fucking...
He's my
This
waifu.
must be a chaotic podcast if you're still listening to it. But he has, like, the white hair. He's got one eye covered by his headband.
He's
their
so
teacher.
fucking cool.
So they meet in the... He's extremely
Kakashi's so fucking
100% of my notes are just like, wow, Kakashi.
cool. Just fawning
Yeah.
over.
Wow,
I got
Kakashi
OG.
did it
I got
again.
OG. I saw
Somewhere
it.
in my notes, I have written down that Kakashi is just like an absolute. Yeah, Kakashi is such a Chad.
My
First Chad of the show.
my first note for episode 4 is love Kakashi.
So,
Yeah, mine is love this Aizawa prototype.
so they meet him in the classroom. He's late, and Naruto sets up a little like trick on him that when he opens the door, a chalkboard eraser falls on his head. His
Idiot.
teammates are like, "You
Loser.
fucking idiot! He's never gonna fall for that. He's an advanced ninja." He of course does fall for it. And then his first line is, "My first impression of this group, you're a bunch of idiots." Which, like, I wrote down basically sums up the series to this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
We could have skipped
Yeah.
a lot by just saying that Kakashi line and be like, you can fill in the blanks from there.
Yeah, honestly.
So this episode, I'm just going to burn through this plot real quick because we have a lot of Kakashi praising to do. Kakashi tells the kids that there's going to be a test. They have to steal these bells from him that are on his belt. There's 2 bells for 3 of them. So anyone who doesn't steal the bell is going to be sent back to the academy. He says that this test is happening to all 27 kids who passed the academy test. Only 9 of them are going to get to be actual ninjas. There's a 66% fail rate on these tests. So these next 2 episodes are following this test that Kakashi is giving the kids to see whether they actually get to be ninjas.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a lot of sort of combat in this episode. They all try to fight Kakashi. They all fail. Sakura gets owned immediately. She just gets, like, illusion cursed and passes out.
Isn't like the next episode the one where it's either this episode or the next one where they're like fucking Kakashi's bringing in some like horror like slasher.
That was this one.
That was this one.
That's
Let's
this
group
one.
episode 4 and 5 together,
Yeah.
though, because they're
Okay,
basically
they're
the
pretty
same.
much the
They're
same
both
thing.
following this
Yeah,
test.
they're the same arc.
And the titles are Pass or Fail Survival Test and You
You
Failed.
Kakashi's final decision.
I do want to say before the bell test, there's a moment where they take some time to get to know each other. They
Yes.
are sitting on some stairs, and Kakashi's like, "Okay, so tell me about
Oh my
yourself."
god.
And
And Sasuke
it was
rules.
the most ridiculous
rules,
shit
'cause they flip it
I've
back on
ever
him.
seen. Yeah, they flip it on him, and he's like, "Oh, I don't
Oh,
know."
yeah.
He's
Oh, I
like,
don't
my
wanna
name is
tell you."
Kakashi. What I like and don't like, I don't really want to tell you that. And
And then Naruto goes, and he's like, "Well, what do I like? I like ramen, and what I hate is waiting for my ramen."
And what else I hate? Sasuke Uchiha.
Yes. And then fucking Sakura, who gets 0 personality, and this whole show is just like, my love, my likes, my future, it's all Sasuke.
And that prompts another fucking goat Kakashi line, which he says in his head, girls her age are more interested in boys than in ninja training. To which I wrote, this is the best episode so far, easily not close.
I do have a line here. Actually, after the first 3 episodes, like into this arc, I kind of feel more like, oh, like I'm starting to like
you're
it more.
into it a bit more?
I do have this. It's like I like Kakashi because he just dunks 100% on all the characters I hate. Just as
which is the
absolutely
entire
perfect.
squad.
Yeah. So it just makes me so happy. I feel validated.
I
by
really
him.
do like Kakashi
Yeah.
a fucking lot.
Yeah.
He's great.
This
Duh.
character introduction bit is also where Sasuke first mentions that he wants to get revenge on a certain someone to avenge his clan.
Yes.
And then there's a shot behind him of like an ominous looking figure looking back at him with
my
red eyes.
Theory number, or I guess 3 at this point. Kakashi is the guy he wants to fucking off. I think that's
Interesting
and
take.
that's gonna be an interesting thing.
That'd
Maybe
be cool.
fucking
Because
down-
he's got the...
and like
Yeah, because that little shot back is the first shot of the Sharingan, which is like the red eye
Yes.
thing that Kakashi has that is revealed later on.
So I mean, maybe like because the little bit I know about this show is that like Naruto and fucking Sasuke become enemies, or like they have like a rivalry or something like that.
Well, I mean, they have a rivalry now.
There's a divide.
been-
There's like a serious divide where like, you know,
They're actually
enemies,
like,
fighting
and,
each other.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think in my mind might be like Kakashi is killed, and Naruto's like, "That's my fucking teacher, dude." And then Sasuke's like, "He killed my clan," and he's like, "I don't give a fuck." He was like changed, he's a new person, and then they fucking go to war about it.
Okay.
And then Sakura's just a dumb bitch the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sakura,
I'm gonna
man,
count those. I'm gonna
she-
count those as two different theories. I'm gonna say at least one of those theories is 100% correct. And the one that's correct is that Sakura,
Hey, no spoilers.
Sakura's a
Sakura
bitch.
remains a dumb bitch for the
Spoilers,
duration of the show. It's not a spoiler. Sakura does not
Okay.
improve. They introduce more female characters that
I-
are better, but she sucks
I feel-
basically until
Okay, I
Shippuden
don't
at least.
know what they're trying to do with like the little like voice in her head, like the
I
angry
Right,
Sakura
I
forgot
hate
voice.
it.
that was a thing.
I-
Sakura has like an inner voice of anger that
And
no
she's the
other
only
character
one,
has.
yeah.
That should just be her thing, though. Like,
Well-
her, like she
She could do that as a character,
Yeah, and it would like her more.
But
Yeah.
it's because it's because she is such a non-entity personality when she's actually talking out in the world, which might, you could argue, be like a reasonable writing of like a 13-year-old girl who's around her crush, that she's not so like outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, because she contributes so little in the actual dialogue, they have to give her an internal monologue that they don't give to other characters, just so that
Yeah.
she has anything going on.
And like
Yeah,
it's so jarring. I think my very first note of Sakura was like, Sakura angry?
Yeah.
Because like she's just like raging constantly.
Like
Yeah, she
Sakura
really is.
angry, and why?
They really do Sakura dirty when she's the only girl. We've gotten that she's like boy crazy, has rage issues, and is on a diet, and that's
Yeah, great,
it.
good.
Those are like the
Good
details that
shit.
we've received
I,
about Sakura.
and like I do have her like number one on my hate list, but I think I'm gonna kind of take her off just because like it's just bad writing.
She gets done so
So,
dirty.
exactly right. So like I'm not gonna blame her.
as a character.
As
and
a-
like it sucks because I want to like her. I do
'Cause,
like
like, she's supposed
appreciate
to-
her as
yeah.
a thing, but it just
She's supposed to be part of the 3-man
Yeah.
squad, and really she's just like this dumb ass.
Yeah.
And that really kind of comes to show in the fucking this episode because like Sasuke's got his fucking thing, Naruto's got his thing, and,
And
she's
she
like
just gets fucking.
just gets smashed.
She has a line in episode 5 where Kakashi is like, she says, "All I did was faint and fall over."
yeah.
Like she says that about herself, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh boy, imagine being that character.
She's self-aware.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you know, they were talking about how Naruto's like in the bottom of his class. That's fucking like she scraped by because he's kind of a dumbass.
yeah.
So
You
she
think
got,
she sucks? Well, the interesting
what'd
thing
she
is
do?
they write her. The world around her is written as if she is actually a very competent student and ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that her character doesn't reflect that reality at all.
I don't think we've actually seen what she can do yet.
We haven't seen her do basically anything.
Yeah, she,
We haven't seen her do anything.
Will we ever
passed
see
out.
Did see Sasuke blow some fire. What was that about?
Yeah, and Kakashi even says like someone at his level shouldn't be able to
Be able to
sustain
do
that
that.
type of jutsu,
Chakra?
and then
Yeah,
he
yeah.
shoots out a fireball from his face.
That was pretty sweet.
It was tight. Sasuke just absolutely flexes on them in these early episodes. He's
yeah,
so
he
much
does.
better than the other two.
Yeah.
Sasuke does say a line, and I think the 5th episode is like he's like that day I was crying, and then the line kind of continues on or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know, but that's just what I have from him.
Kakashi at the very beginning of episode 4 tells them to like go all out on him and like use knives, use whatever weapons you have. Basically says try to kill me, fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
And then immediately pins Naruto to the ground
Yeah.
and just kicks his ass.
He owns Naruto real
Yeah.
bad.
And it's like we haven't even started yet. Don't
He
be
also
so
sticks his
fucking
fingers
hasty.
up Naruto's ass.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
does
and like
that.
it's really hilarious because everyone else thinks it's a jutsu and he just finger bangs his ass.
I think it's wait.
Because his
I'm not
fingers
gonna
are like
defend this.
in a pose. And then like he just sticks them up.
I'm not gonna defend this, but has anyone seen Kim's Convenience? Because
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
I think it's like it's a cultural thing. It's like a plot point in an episode of Kim's Convenience
Okay.
that like they do some hand shit and then just like smack him in the nuts.
Or, I
So-
think it's an ass poke. I do
Yeah,
think it's an ass
he
poke.
goes
Or
right
it
up.
isn't-
He goes right up the ass.
Yeah.
no, it's,
well, it
like,
might be
it's
in-
like a playful, like kind of.
I need to consult my notes because I think yeah, it's Kakashi's bell test fingers Naruto's ass in the notes.
Stop. He's a child.
That doesn't stop.
Katie, what's your initial impression of seeing all these characters fight for the first time?
Well, Naruto's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Sakura's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And Sasuke's really got something special.
This Sasuke boy.
This Sasuke guy, he's really onto something.
He does straight up almost take the bells off Kakashi
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kakashi's kind of like, oh shit, like he's kind of like surprised for a second.
I think Kakashi
Like,
was clowning though.
Kakashi also reads...
He might have been clowning, yeah.
Well, he when he fights Naruto, he fights him one-handed while reading a horny novel.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Fucking
Which,
king.
king shit.
King shit.
And then when he's fighting Sasuke, he does say like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna have to put this book away and actually like
try.
grapple with this kid." And
Yeah.
he's still almost like, I don't think he's going all out, but he almost gets got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And he looks like shocked. He
Yeah.
does look surprised that
Yeah,
Sasuke's
Sasuke's making moves.
A problem.
Yeah.
A problem. I think I'm realizing with this is like I'm gonna have to see so many like shadow clone jutsus in a row, and I feel like that's gonna be a crutch for a long time.
Yes.
And like it's not
I will
gonna
just tell you
develop.
now, as like it's a spoiler, but also to be emotionally prepared.
Yeah.
Shadow clone jutsu is gonna be
Fucking-
a recurring theme
That's
for a while.
that's
The-
Naruto's
yeah.
bread and
That's
butter.
Naruto's
That's
fucking. That's his Kamehameha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
his-
know.
The only shit he knows.
That's
It
what I was
essentially
afraid of.
never entirely goes away.
Can you imagine being the kid who stole the fucking scroll, learned one thing, and that's all you ever fucking do?
Yeah, listen.
And, like-
there, like other stuff will develop, but that never goes away.
And can you imagine having Kakashi as a teacher and not learning anything fucking cool and just like, I'm gonna do
Well,
the same shit, bro.
Kakashi also. I wrote down that Naruto has one jutsu so far in the first 7 episodes.
Kakashi does,
Kakashi's
like,
a fucking one jutsu.
replacement.
Yeah. Which the first time he uses it, Sasuke actually says in like an internal monologue, "This is a very basic jutsu," and Kakashi fucking gets people with it constantly. Like not
Because
only
his
them, but in a
perception
later episode,
Yeah.
he does it to like advanced ninjas like twice, and
Yeah,
it works
yeah.
every time. He just keeps using this replacement jutsu where he replaces himself with a log or with
Water.
some water
Kakashi's
or
just like
another
master
clone
of
of
the
Naruto.
basics, dude. He really has the
like it's one of those things
really
where it's
has
like
the vibe.
I'll keep like you make me stop doing it, and that's when I'll stop.
It really
you
is.
check me on it. Can you? No. Then
But-
I'm gonna keep fucking doing it.
Basically, each character so far has only used one technique per character.
I mean, we are at episode 5.
Except Sakura, who has used
Zero
zero.
techniques
Zero.
per character,
She's using
yeah.
the fall
Zero
over
moves for
jutsu.
Sakura, and that actually goes for this whole span of episodes. We
The-
have not seen Sakura do anything.
It's something
I've
worth,
seen her hold a knife.
1 to 7.
something
Little
worth noting.
fucking kunai.
Little
They do a
kunai.
really good job of showing Sasuke's proficiency as a ninja in this episode, and I'm kind of jumping around a
And
little
the
bit,
next
but in
one.
episode 6
Yeah.
too, based on the way that he not only fights, but he uses the knives and the shuriken, the kunai and the shuriken, like
Yeah.
better than anybody else uses them in the show. They do a really good job
Yeah.
of him like using it to spring traps, like throwing them in arcs, and like bullseyeing themselves, like Robin Hooding one through the other to pin something to a tree.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
because he
he's-
also does immediately just yeet them at fucking Kakashi too.
Yeah, and
like,
nails him.
Yeah, because he's like,
Yeah.
oh, now's my chance, and just like hits him with like 6,
Yeah.
and then he's like, oh, poof, I'm a log. But
He does
just
drill
But he
own
does
him.
nail it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he does get the
Yeah.
target. Like
Yeah. Sasuke's
no
kind
question.
of a pimp.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fighting in this episode. So, like, there's a lot of cool. Are there any cool fighting moments? Because basically, the summary at the end is Kakashi's like, "You idiots need to use teamwork." Naruto doesn't get lunch.
Yeah.
Don't feed him lunch, and then they feed him lunch, and he's like,
Against
"Ah,
the
yes,
rules.
teamwork. You
You-
pass,
yeah,
you get to be
you
ninjas,"
broke
which
my
is kind of a
rules.
cop out. But we do need to continue the show, so sure.
Yeah.
There's also cuts to the third Hokage and Iruka, all of our dad, where Iruka is like concerned for Naruto because they have the hardest teacher who fails every single kid that he's had so far.
Yeah.
Which seems wild if all you have to do to pass the test is feed your friend lunch.
Yeah, so literally no ninja in history has ever just done that. Like,
No,
they
they're
are
all
literally
selfish.
the first group that were like, let's just be a team.
There was, I kind of mentioned the serial killer vibes Kakashi was giving earlier, but there was like the one scene where like it was fucking Sakura like in a bush or something like that, and Kakashi kind of rolls up on her behind her, and he uses Sasuke's voice, and he's like, Sakura, and she's like, Sasuke, and it's like him with a knife. I'm like, oh shit. And it's like,
Sakura,
And then
your forehead
he
is
does
so beautiful.
he does illusion magic on her
Yeah.
to make it look like Sasuke has
Sasuke's
just been
dead.
riddled with knives.
Yeah.
and he's
I
like bleeding out on the ground.
I was really happy about that, and I hoped it was true, but
Oh my god.
You're a monster.
Also, there's like I have a
You're
note
such a
here.
heel.
Naruto should have stayed hype about dying to join the, because like they're like, oh, one of us
Oh,
died.
yeah, that is
that
a
was
cool moment.
that was a
actually.
sad moment.
That one actually almost kind of got me.
Yeah.
It's every time they played the piano, man.
When Kakashi is talking
Get
about
you with the
teamwork, he
piano.
shows the kids a memorial, and he says, "Here's all the names of
He's
different
like, I want to be on that
different
list.
heroes
Yeah.
of the Leaf Village."
Yeah.
And Naruto's like, "I want to be a hero." He says, "Well, these are specific kinds of heroes. These are all the ninjas that were killed in action in a mission." And then
Yeah.
he says, "All of my closest friends are on this memorial,"
Yeah, and
which
it's
they kind of
a-
don't dwell on, but like,
Yikes.
I dwelled on it.
yeah, Kakashi, and that.
Yeah,
that's
it's a heavy moment.
That sort of is something that will inform his character going forward. Like, Kakashi has lost all of his friends in ninja missions, which would explain why he's so brutal in, like, passing these kids towards the ninja lifestyle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do wish he was more excited to stay on that list of the memorial.
Fuck it, I'll die.
Yeah, I really wish he'd just carry. Like, yeah, no, like, fucking kill me, put me on the list, baby.
Yeah.
Fuck, and he's the whole series, huh?
Buddy.
It's just, he's never not in an
Yeah,
episode.
you're gonna have to climb down off this Naruto
Yeah.
rage if you
Yeah.
want to stick with it.
Listen, we'll see.
You have like only about 800 more episodes of this.
I think I can get through it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be like a Stockholm syndrome where I'm like, yeah, no, like
Believe it.
That might be what's happened
Yeah.
to me.
I think that's already happened to me.
I think that's happened to every Naruto
Naruto.
fan ever. It's just you're like,
You can't just diss our audience, dude.
I can.
We have one specific
Hey,
set of
teammate.
people
Hey,
that are gonna
Katie.
watch.
My teammate forever did.
Katie, was there a moment in any of the 2 episodes that somebody other than Sasuke did anything to impress you?
Yeah, Kakashi. Does
Other
that
than-
count?
Other than
Yeah.
one of the other 2 kids. Any redeeming moment? Probably not for Sakura. Is there anything that Naruto did that stood out as impressive to you? He does roll up and just insist on 1v1ing Kakashi,
Well,
like twice.
Yeah.
In episode 4, he said "believe it" 8 times,
Holy
which
shit.
did impress me.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I sort of cross-checked another person who had done this, who had made this count on the
Yeah.
internet, and they only counted 5, but I think it's because there are a couple times when he says, like, twice in a row, he'll say, believe it,
Oh.
and I don't think they counted that as 2, but that's
That's
sure
That's two.
too.
Yeah.
That's for sure two.
And he did it multiple times.
Believe it.
Other than that, though, no.
Okay.
What's the count on episode 5?
Episode 5 is 4.
There's a lot of combat in
That's
that.
a
There's not that
lot
much
of-
dialogue going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I didn't take many notes for these episodes. I didn't
It's a lot of
dislike
fighting.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's just
didn't
a lot-
dislike them, but it wasn't really
just
too
doing the thing.
remarkable.
They're cool, but yeah, there's not that much like plot development. So, episode 6, A Dangerous Mission, Journey to the Land of the Waves. This is where they get their first real quest. It is sort of kicking off the first longer arc of the Naruto series. It opens with them chasing down a cat that some old lady had lost, which sort of
Yeah.
implies that they've just been running errands as ninjas for like some like weeks, I would say,
Yeah.
some undefined amount
And
of time.
just doing like the worst missions.
Yeah.
Like, the worst grade.
And
like D
Naruto's
level or whatever.
Naruto's pissed about it. He wants to like try.
Yeah, the old lady's hugging the cat too, and he's like, yeah, I want to see that cat get squashed, and I haven't
Yeah.
know that.
This was,
he's all about squashing pussy.
Oh,
Naruto-
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Naruto is all about squashing
Jesus
pussy, that's
Christ. This was also a moment where, because they're like doing the intel or whatever, and Naruto's like on the radio, and I wrote down radios, technology in Naruto,
So
as
they-
something I want to speak on.
They sort
What?
of do this earlier on. They abandon this as the series goes on.
Okay.
I noticed it in episode 7 when there's corrugated iron on one of the buildings.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah.
cranes and shit.
Because, I assumed that this was some kind of, feudal Japan type setting.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really prepared for there to just be, radios and, stuff.
I think at this point the show still doesn't really know what world it's in yet.
Yeah. It's
Because there
still,
are a few-
very fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is weird. It is a weird...
Yeah,
Because they're
it's just,
coming on,
jarring.
shortwave radios.
Yeah.
So Naruto wants to do a better quest. He goes and yells at the Hokage, and he's like, "These are bullshit. Give me a better quest."
As he does.
It somehow works. They get there's 4 tiers of quests:
Yeah.
D, C, B, A. They break down like how it splits, but it's not really important.
Hey, why'd you break it down that way? DB or DC?
DCBA?
Yeah.
Because they're doing D and they're moving up to C.
Yeah, but
B and A are off limits.
ABCD.
Yeah, but I'm starting with the most relevant ones.
Okay.
Duncan is doing a Trump cognitive test.
I'm doing a Trump cognitive test.
Recite 4 things backwards, please.
TV, person, woman, man,
Radio.
radio, television.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Fucking
So they get a C-level quest, which is basically like, okay, you might actually like do some shit. This is more than just like babysitting children or looking for cats.
Yeah.
It's bodyguarding this bridge builder as he goes to the land of waves to build a bridge. There are supposed to be no ninja fights on a C-level quest. They're basically just protecting him from like street robbers or whatever.
Yeah.
And they will mostly be like a deterrent. Like if you see 4 ninjas walking with this guy,
You don't fuck
it's mostly
with
just
them.
to like prevent them from being
Not
fucked
to.
with. So he rolls up this drunk bridge builder, and I put him down as the second Chad of the series. He absolutely rules. One of his first lines is when referring to Naruto, "Who's the little one with the idiotic look on his face?"
Hell yeah.
That is a continuation. Shit, I haven't been tracking. When I was writing my notes, basically starting episode 4.
Yeah.
You could start it with episode 3 as he keeps getting regular diarrhea, but Naruto got a couple wins in the early episodes, and then there is a turn that has happened in these episodes where basically
All
from
Ls.
here on,
all Ls.
it's all L's. And so I wrote that down as the Naruto L train. And so yeah, he cops it when he gets diarrhea. He receives a few L's from Kakashi in episodes 4 and 5 as Kakashi like disarms him, traps him twice, sticks his finger up his ass. And then, yeah, the Naruto L train continues as he loses to the literal cat at the start of this episode. The cat, like, owns him in a 1v1 fight in the background. L train continues as he's called the little one with the idiotic look on his face. And then they set off on their mission. We learn about the other villages. There's 5 ninja villages. Each one of them has a Kage that is the leader of the village.
Yeah.
And then...
That was, like, really cool world building for me. I don't know if I really, like... I must have known it, but I didn't really like cement in my memory what these 4 or these 5 like nations could be.
I think I blacked out.
He's very like
I don't remember
he's
that
very
at
like
all.
Avatar: The Last Airbender type
I have this
nation.
as like the info dump episode of like let's
it
get
was
some
a
world
lot.
building
It is-
in there. Let's
it
get
was
some
a lot.
It is a
fucking-
lot of info dumping.
There are no ninjas in the land of waves.
Basically, what you need to remember that they establish here is that like the Hidden Leaf Village aren't the only ninjas. There are other ninjas.
Yeah, and that was like weird to me because like I just assumed the Hokage was like the cream of the crop, like top, like king of the world type shit.
But it's just
then
there,
there's
it's just
like
for that village.
he's just kind of like one of
He's the
5
leader of that
other
village.
Yeah.
So he's one of the top 5 ninjas.
Yeah.
Which I didn't note this before, but you guys, I don't know if you picked up on this. The 4th Hokage is the one who died to seal the Nine-Tailed Fox away in Naruto.
Yeah.
We talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Fuck, I hope we did. That'd be a weird...
Well,
I'm losing track.
It's fine.
The Nine-Tailed Fox is sealed inside Naruto.
What?
It's a big
Wait,
big
what?
old demon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
no, they say it.
the 9-tailed fox
Oh, fuck you.
He's got a little belly button.
sealed
tattoo.
inside
He's got a little belly
Naruto?
button
Yeah.
tattoo because of it. And then
And his last name is Spiral because it's a spiral.
yeah, his full name is Naruto Uzumaki.
Okay.
Wow, what
Thanks,
a deep,
guys.
What a deep cut.
That's
And
pretty
then,
deep cut. That's some trivia for you boys.
The 3rd
Boys.
Hokage is the one who's running shit now.
Lord
So-
Hokage.
The 3rd.
Yeah, so what happened was there were
when-
2 Hokages. It was the 3rd Hokage. The 4th Hokage took over.
Took an L
and
for
then
the team.
fucking
And
died.
died.
So when
And the
that,
3rd Hokage had to like take the mantle up again.
So that's why he's
so old.
That's why he's such a terrible old man who like
Yeah.
I couldn't picture being a good
Gotcha.
ninja.
He came out of retirement after the 4th Hokage died,
Okay.
like 12 years ago. I guess because at the time they didn't think they had anybody who was ready to be 5th Hokage, but they went back in the lineage.
Okay.
Right.
That's interesting. I did not
I would
really
just put
pick up on
Kakashi.
that.
Yeah, I would
Just,
just promote Kakashi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably could have just done that.
Yeah, I probably could have just made Kakashi a Hokage.
Yeah,
But...
Okay.
I would,
Well, that was 12 years ago. Kakashi would have been 16.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
All right, I'm glad we're
Oh, boys.
I'm glad we're in agreement about how dope Kakashi is. So, in this episode, they get attacked by 2 ninja of the Mist Village? Village hidden in the Mist?
They're with the Zabuza.
Yeah, they're with
like the
Zabu. So,
boys, yeah.
it's 2 dudes,
The
they have a
Demon
chain,
Brothers.
they fuck Kakashi up, but
oh,
he's
yeah, he gets
substitution...
red. Yeah, he gets red misted.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, he
but
gets
he-
destroyed.
But he substitution jutsus again,
Yeah.
because nobody ever learns
yeah.
to watch out for that jutsu, I
They
guess.
never pick up on it.
And then they fight.
just won.
Naruto freezes up. Sasuke actually kind of
Sasuke
actually
kicks
like holds
ass.
his own.
My-
Sasuke's won against
ripping.
these experiences.
My notes are like Sasuke is actually doing the most, and anyone who hates him is a dummy.
Yeah. So
I just put Sasuke just owns these guys.
yeah, he
Like,
straight up he stands up to 2 Chunin level ninjas, which are like the second of 3 tier of ninjas.
Yeah.
They are tier 1. These guys he's fighting are basically
Are-
tier 2.
yeah.
And he's holding his own against both of them.
Yeah.
He jumps in front of Sakura to save her from an attack that they're doing. He might have died, except for obviously that Kakashi
Kakashi was
Exists.
just
substitution jutsu
Yeah.
and like one-shots both of these dudes. That's basically the end of episode 6, but we learn that Zabuza, who's this dude with a face mask and a huge sword, is like the leader of this gang of assassins that's after the bridge builder.
I kind of love him a lot. Zabuza is
Yeah,
kind of
he's
sick.
really
Yeah, he's
fucking
cool.
cool.
He sounds like Reaper to me a little bit without like the full.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was almost like sure that that the voice actor who does Reaper was that.
I wonder if they are.
They're not.
No,
They're not.
we
We looked
googled it.
But I was like, oh, this is a cool bad guy. I basically head up. He's like the fucking coolest guy, and then you see his like weird cow leg band. I think it's supposed to be camouflage or something, but it's just bad.
It is mist camouflage, I think.
Yeah.
That it's bad. You could have a better camouflage than that. Like I don't know. It just looks.
How would
dumb.
you camouflage in the
For
mist?
yeah.
I'm so pale. I could just.
He could
not.
just exist.
Well, exactly. I mean,
He would
not
get.
right
He
now.
would. He's saying he would get paler if he was a mist ninja. He would stare into the sun.
Like because
Do
he's
have-
shirtless.
Wear SPF 70.
He's like shirtless. He's got the cool striped pants.
He's
He could
also
just keep
his
up
skin
the-
is also gray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He is.
He could just do that.
yeah.
Just go naked, dude.
Before,
I know, I like the pants.
before
Like,
the
yeah, it's good.
Zabuza reveal, though, we learned that Kakashi has like a fucking galaxy brain, just like 300 IQ, because like he's walking by and notices the puddle,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, "Oh, there wouldn't be a puddle. It's been far too hot, and like it hasn't rained."
yeah.
And so he just immediately notices that there's probably enemy ninjas, and is ready to do the substitute to kind of like assess them before he attacks them, because he realizes then that they're going for the bridge maker, and he puts all this together in like 30 seconds.
He does that in
Yeah.
episode 7 too.
He does it again
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he notices
I
that a
think I have a
rabbit's pelt is out of season,
Yeah.
and it must have been bred indoors.
Is
Yeah.
it
I
Galaxy
have that
Brain?
written down too. He's just 300
Is
IQ.
it 300 IQ, or are we just looking at him in comparison to Naruto?
idiots.
It's all, I mean, it's
Idiots.
all relative, right?
Kind of both. And then Naruto is poisoned. He has like the scratch or whatever on
Oh
his
yeah, there's
hand.
poison in these guys' weapons. They
Yes.
hit Naruto when he froze up earlier on, so he's got poison in his blood.
And then in an iconic moment, he just stabs it out.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was hype. That is awesome.
I don't know if that's how you stop poison though.
That's how you stop
I
poison in
don't
the ninja
think
world.
that's really how poison works. I think that
No,
would actually...
Sasuke should have sucked it out.
It details. That also though reveals the first sort of hint that Naruto might have
some
sort of
strange
advanced healing
powers.
because
Yes.
that wound he gives himself
Oh, yeah,
closes
yeah,
up
it
basically
does.
right away.
Yes,
Yeah.
the plot armor. Oh, listen. He's the main character. There is a
Yeah,
show called Boruto, which is based off of his son. So I think
We can assume,
We can assume he
Naruto
lives-
makes it out.
He makes it out.
He makes
Boy
it.
makes it out.
Well, or somebody names their son in homage.
It's actually it's Sasuke's son.
shit.
that looks identical to.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what
We don't
Sasuke's
know
doing.
that he doesn't die.
He probably dies
I can't
eventually.
100%
Okay,
confirm
here's my
Naruto
theory.
survives.
My theory, Naruto dies, and then someone resurrection jutsus him.
with the Dragon Balls.
So you're right away assuming that there's
there's a resurrection
jutsu.
There's a
That is,
necromancy jutsu. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
a stretch.
There's 1,000, man. There's more than 1,000.
There's a lot.
There's 1,000 that
So,
Kakashi is copying.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
on
it's
that
possible.
on that note, believe it count for episode 6.
Only 2.
Only 2.
Only 2.
We're
Yeah,
getting
just
into
a-
it. The
just a
plot.
quick-
I
A
mean, the
meager
plot's clipping.
2 believe it.
Just a
So
quick 2.
episode 7. I forget what this one's called.
The Assassin of the Mist.
The Assassin of the Mist. So they continue along their journey. They now know that this is a higher level mission than they thought it was, but they don't turn back because Naruto wants to continue, and because the bridge builder says that like the people he's building this bridge for are impoverished and couldn't afford to pay for a higher level, which is why he kind of lied about who was coming after him in the first place.
Yeah.
We get the details about a mob boss. Who,
Yes.
About Jeff Bezos.
yeah, but Jeff Bezos, the Naruto equivalent of Jeff Bezos, who's like this business magnate who like runs nations, but also runs this crazy underground drug trade.
Yeah.
He is
Yep.
like the leader of the land hidden in the or the land of waves where they're going, but he doesn't want the bridge because then he won't have like a monopoly on the transportation in and out of this place because people can just walk across the bridge. They don't have to like use his boats.
Yeah,
so that's why he's sending assassins to kill the bridge builder. Zabuza says that he is going to handle it himself since 2 of his guys failed. So he stalks along, and then he sees sort of who he's up against, and he says like, oh fuck, no wonder my guys failed. We're up against Kakashi from the Leaf Village, the copy ninja. He's
Check
copied 1,000
Kakashi.
techniques. This is the first time we hear that like not only is Kakashi dope, but is like a legendary ninja.
I knew
like
that.
people know
I knew that directly.
Kakashi has crazy clout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they know like even his nicknames, like Full Metal Alchemist style. They're like, oh, you're exactly this guy. You're the copy ninja.
Yeah.
He's like, hell yeah, I am. He's a good.
So basically, this episode we learn about who's coming after them, and we get into another fight. This time with Zabuza. He comes down and like 1v1s Kakashi. Kakashi lifts up his headband for the first time, reveals that he has a red eye with
Yes.
a star,
Yes.
known as the Sharingan.
Yes.
Sharingan King.
Sasuke explains that the Sharingan is like a rare hereditary technique
Yeah.
that's passed down by a bloodline. He reveals that it's in his head. He reveals that it's passed down among his bloodline, and it's a very rare technique that only a few members of the Uchiha clan has.
Yeah.
So he is kind of confused how Kakashi has this eye.
Yeah. Do we just throwing some theories out there? Do we think they're related? Do we think Kakashi is
Yeah,
an
to
Uchiha?
everyone who hasn't seen this, what do you think is the deal with this Sharingan?
I think Kakashi maybe had some beef with Sasuke's village or something like that,
And
or
like,
clan.
Oh, he's
Killed
like
him for
he's
that.
like an exile.
Yeah, and then so that's
Oh yeah, you still think he killed them.
killed them for the eye?
or like something happened and like it's probably portrayed as Kakashi killing that clan, and it's not that, but Sasuke's a dumb bitch and is gonna be like, you fucking killed my clan, you have my eye, I want it back, and then that's what's gonna happen there.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, if
I could not believe that
Yeah.
Kakashi did anything evil ever in his life.
So what do you think
Yeah,
the Sharingan is? Where do you think
Just-
that came from?
Oh
Just like a weird genetic
no, I
offset.
mean he could be part of the clan, but I don't know. Maybe he
So
like
you're
left or
thinking
ran
that
away
there
before
may
the fucking
I think
They're
there might
maybe related somehow?
yeah.
Yeah, I think there might be some familial
Do you
ties
know?
there. I don't
Dom?
know. I do
okay,
not
so
know.
I am the only one who's aware of the
Yeah.
Sharingan backstory.
Yeah. I would
in,
say-
in earnest, I do not know how Kakashi has a fucking weird eye.
I think he's probably from the same clan, but like shit happens. Sometimes you don't stay with your clan.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Fair theory. So you're thinking he wiped out the Uchihas. You're just thinking he is an Uchiha.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe.
he was portrayed as the guy who did it, and like that's kind of like that's his kind of edgy backstory
Sure.
Yeah.
a little bit, and that's probably why Sasuke might dislike him.
Oh no, because he loves him, as we see immediately
Oh, yeah, he gets
after
kinda
this, when
weird
he
and
just
horny,
starts
yeah.
like simping really hard for like both of them.
such a sick.
Yeah, he
Well, he
goes
does
so
same.
weird.
So Zabuza and Kakashi
I mean,
fight.
welcome.
Okay.
We don't need to get into it. It's a
Welcome to
sick
the
fight.
team.
Yeah, I
Kakashi
do-
copies one of Zabuza's like water
Water
clone
clones,
techniques.
yeah.
But there is a moment where Sasuke in his head is like, the bloodlust, it's so powerful. These are two advanced ninjas fighting. And then takes out his knife and is like,
should I kill myself?
Than bear this energy anymore.
What was that
Yeah, that
about?
was a crazy vibe.
So I will say in that like Zabuza being like there's 8 points and then like naming off all the fucking,
that was edgy.
Oh yeah, he says the 8 kill points on the body.
It was also like cool, like it's kind of intimidating. That's kind of what I want from if all the villains are kind of like that, I'm kind of into it. I don't mind a villain being edgy and be like, I'm gonna fucking take your throat out. I'm gonna stab your heart.
But when Sasuke does it, that's a problem for you.
Sasuke can't take his own heart out.
Yeah, such a villain. And give it to Naruto.
I think my big issue with him is like like the tropes thing, right? Like I feel like I'm gonna have to get over the fact that this show has created a bunch of tropes. Like I've seen so many animes after this where there's like the secondary characters, like the brooding, and like I'm just so tired.
Yeah, but like Sasuke did it first and best.
That wasn't necessarily created by this though, because Vegeta is also I think that's just a. It's just a balance, right? It's just a dynamic.
I think it's called like the what are they fucking called in like I think they're called like lancers or something.
Best friends.
In like writing terms, there's like a lancer who's like the main heroes.
He's like the foil to the main hero, basically. Yeah.
So I think that's what that is. It's just I don't like that that trope.
Yeah.
So and it's just
well, you see it everywhere. It's in like every shonen.
Yeah, and the thing is, like,
there is a Vegeta character.
It's in every like YA fantasy. It's a really like for younger people. It's a really popular trope. Yeah. Like regardless of like origin of.
Well, yeah, story. And like honestly, kind of fucking works. Kind of hits for me all the time.
Yeah,
because I always prefer the Vegeta to the Goku in like everything.
It's true, but like I don't like Sasuke very much, but I really don't like Naruto. So it's like I don't like either of them.
Yeah.
So like and Goku I can get behind. He's kind of at least lovable, and
he's just like, hey, let's fight.
Like you're really tough. Like he's like but like I don't know.
But Naruto's like rambunctiously
and grating.
Like, yeah.
I have a note. I made a note that says basically like. I've seen 10 episodes of Black Clover.
Yeah,
and I like Asta.
Yeah,
so I can't say shit about Naruto.
Yeah, exactly. Like Asta is like more obnoxious than Naruto, but I love him so much more somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's going to be one of those characters. I think this is going to be a show where I kind of get into it.
It'll grow on you a little bit.
Yeah. Because like. I think there's a large enough cast where I can like connect. Like Teammate, I'm already connected to. Those are my homies.
Yeah, there's enough characters outside of the main ones.
We're just starting the actual like plot.
Real
like
arcs.
A lot. The first 5 episodes were basically set up.
So
this is the first like thing that's happening. Is there anything I didn't take notes in this episode because we watched episode 7 all together. Is there anything that I missed in terms of like key plot detail?
No, because it kind of ends like mid-fight. They just
Kakashi gets a shot in on Zabuza, and then the episode ends.
And everyone is like really surprised by it. Everyone's like, somehow beyond all belief, he copied his technique. It's like
the first thing Zabuza says is like the copy ninja. If he looks at you, he can copy your technique. And then 5 minutes later, it's like. He used my technique?
He's fully shook.
Yeah, and everyone is
know?
just like so confused about it, and it really shouldn't be confusing.
Yeah.
But it really is. And I think that's where it just ends off. So that's where we ended off.
There were only 2 Believe It's in this one, too.
Another like big fighty one.
I'm kind of scared.
We might see the Believe It's drop off for a bit as like episodes get more serious. I feel like the tone of the episode, like the more lighthearted, the more Believe It's you can see coming.
Yeah.
What was the Believe It total for 7 episodes of Naruto?
Just total aggregate.
That is.
So I'll say again. What are you excited about in the next set of episodes? What do you think? Like predictions for our next chunk. We're gonna watch another 7 before we record episode 2.
Yeah.
That nobody's gonna listen to, and.
I kind of know how this fight goes, and then that is really kind of...
Good guys win?
Well, we'll see. So I kind of can't really go too far into it, but that does kind of cap off my knowledge of Naruto, I feel.
Really?
Yeah, like
the end of this arc is the end of your Naruto knowledge.
or maybe like maybe it goes a bit further, but like this I have like vivid memory
Right,
of
okay.
like these type of fights. So
Katie and Liam?
I'm looking forward to more ninjas. I'm looking forward to seeing maybe that time skip you're talking about. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
That's a way.
what's up
Listen.
9 seasons
Yeah.
from
Hey,
now?
I'm looking forward to it, baby. We'll make it through.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
But I mean,
We've started something
Yeah,
terrible,
really
so we'll
Forward
get
to
there.
Shippuden.
looking forward to it. I don't know, just maybe like I really do kind of like the school arcs in any fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shippuden where
Tournament arcs, school arcs.
Yeah, those are really fun because then you get to learn about the other characters. I don't have to focus
yeah.
on fucking Naruto the whole time.
You really prefer the secondary characters.
I do.
So far.
Listen, it's different in My Hero Academia. I do like Deku a lot. I do like fucking All Might. Just he's my heart and joy.
How could
Yeah.
you not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like that. I do like that vibe, and I do like a large cast. I don't have any problem with tracking who's who. So,
I would like to read out a quote from episode 6 that is actually a fucking banger, and it comes from Sakura.
Yep.
She says,
Wow.
Naruto, you have a self-abusive personality. It's called masochism.
Oh yeah. That's like immediately after he stabbed
stabs
himself in the
wrist.
head.
Yeah, and like that's a fire. Credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was pretty good.
Good work, Sakura. One
I
time.
want Sakura to shine. I want my
Yeah.
girl Sakura to have some spotlight.
that's what I'm.
That's your hope.
That's what I'm excited for. For her to be.
To do anything.
For her to
To
do
do anything good.
anything. I hope that happens. And like Sasuke, we've seen him kick ass. I would like to see him continue to kick ass.
Yeah.
Naruto, I would like him to do stuff. We'll see.
Anything other than Shadow Clone Jutsu.
God,
And
yes,
harm
please.
jutsu.
Harem
I mean,
jutsu.
let's give credit. Shadow Clone Jutsu is a pretty tight jutsu.
It is.
It is
cool.
pretty sick, yeah.
But yeah, expanding the range a little bit.
Yeah.
These are good expectations. I'm gonna ask a few questions that I kind of know that you guys have prepped notes on. So Liam, you said
haven't.
that you had a hate list.
Yeah.
How many do you have on your hate list?
Listen, it kind
It's just every
varies,
character.
It varies from episode to episode, right? And like,
He's a chart.
I mean,
It's a printout
Oh,
of like the
God.
Wikipedia entry
Yeah.
of Naruto
Yeah.
characters. That's his hate
So like,
list.
I mean, some characters will pop in and out, like the fucking what's his Konohamaru.
Konohamaru.
Yeah,
He does appear in episode 3. They have a brief dialogue
yeah.
where he like tries to attack Naruto again and it doesn't work. And I wrote that when Naruto and Konohamaru talk, it feels like something out of a Charlie Brown strip.
It's really bad.
It's just
It
tonally
is-
so different
it's
than the
real
rest
bad.
of the.
So
yeah.
he was on the list, but then I figured like he's not going to be in the show.
He doesn't even deserve a place
He's
on
not
the
gonna be in the
list.
show anymore. Fingers crossed. God, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah,
well, like
sure.
I
he
assume
won't
it's
be in there
filler.
a lot, right?
I
like,
assumed it's
exactly.
filler.
So he's going to be kind of one of those like side characters that shows up once in a while. I'm not going to have to deal with him the whole series. So he was on the list. He was kind of high up there, and that's why he ranked lower than Sasuke. And
I see.
Because I'm like, I don't got to deal with this bitch. He's not going to be in
Out
every
of sight,
episode
out of
sort
mind.
thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then really it's kind of like the main 3 characters of our show that are kind of they switch places on that list, and I found like throughout as soon as we got into like kind of out of the filler shit,
Yeah.
I found I kind of started like Naruto a little bit. There's some
Oh.
moments.
Oh.
There were like little moments where I'm like, okay, I can fuck with you.
Oh.
And then he's like, believe it. I'm like, nah, dude.
There's like
what a journey we're gonna
There's
go on.
little glimpses of heroism with
And, like,
Naruto,
yeah.
and grit. Like when he stabs himself,
Yeah.
that was so sick.
yeah, and
That
then he
was
says,
so
believe
sick.
it, and I'm like, nah, dude. I
Yeah.
have
The Believe
a,
It, the
I have a
Believe It
note.
thing is another show only thing. They actually don't do that in the comic, and I don't know why. I don't think they do it in the comic, and I don't necessarily know why they added it in here.
Because
I might be
it
wrong about that.
rules.
Don't correct
And
me if I'm wrong.
Is it like also dub only, or is it in
I looked this up. There is a thing that he says in Japanese. It's not like a direct
Okay.
translation, but
Yeah.
he does.
He
have
does
a
have a
catchphrase.
catchphrase
Yeah.
in Japanese, because I read a little bit of the manga and I don't remember
I don't
him
remember
being
this.
like believe it all the time.
I really don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
Can you imagine if he did though?
So Katie, you, I'm gonna ask you. You are a fan of anime boys generally.
Yes.
So, can you give us all like a quick top 5 Naruto boys so far in order?
Start
And
from
maybe
5.
maybe a little bit. Yeah,
Start
build
from
to- yeah,
five.
start
5
from-
or 3.
or
You
th-
can go.
There's
top
not that
3,
many
but-
boys yet, so you, like cut it off where you want to cut it off. But like, who are your top boys, and like, why do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't. Naruto is on the list, but he's probably at the bottom.
Yeah. That's respectable.
Yeah, because I do not hate him, and I think he's gonna be good.
But he hasn't earned it yet. He hasn't earned that top
What's
spot
the
yet.
other guy? The other boy?
Oh no, Shikamaru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shikamaru is on the list, but I don't know shit all about him.
The
but
ponytail
God,
guy?
I have
Yeah.
hope. I have high.
He was
high
really
hopes.
yeah. He's been in this for like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
and he's sick.
he's
He
like-
comes in hot.
I do like
Teammate-
him.
I
Honestly-
forgot about how good teammate.
Teammate
is.
rules because I like her a lot too. Ito or Ino.
Ino,
Yeah, she's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, he might be. He's good. Sasuke,
Yeah.
Of course.
of course.
Is he number 3?
No, I think he's gonna come in at number 2. I think this is
Oh,
top
okay.
4.
And that,
I think this is top 4.
and that-
Yeah, and if anyone wants to just place bets on who,
yeah, it's
who do we think number
it's a
1 is
non-question.
gonna be? My king, our king, Kakashi,
So
number 1.
I don't want to criticize your list, but I do notice that Iruka has not made it into the top.
He's not a top boy.
He's not our dad. All of our dads.
He's a
not
good
top
dad,
boy.
but he's not.
I
top
feel
boy.
like he
Sure.
he fizzles out quick. He's good in the first episode as like this guardian this like guardian figure to Naruto, and like you see like, oh, you're just like me. I was like you when I was younger, and like that
That's
was
good.
It was beautiful. It was a good little segment.
They killed my family.
But he hasn't really done anything past that first episode, so I
yeah,
can't
like
really.
I'm not gonna focus too much on the past, where I am right now in my life. What we've just watched.
Mhm.
Well, I guess I did put Shikamaru on it. That's not fair. It's fine. He's on it.
Go with your
Kakashi.
That's yeah.
Kakashi is my heart.
I think that's a fair number 1 for this arc of episodes.
I would also give it to Kakashi. I think it's
yeah.
I think it's unanimous.
I think it's unanimous.
Yeah, Kakashi rules. I forgot how good. I don't think I gave him enough credit when I was a kid.
Same,
like I liked
same,
him,
same,
but
same.
he's so good. He's
Because
such
like
a good character.
as a kid, you really do see him through like the student lens of
Yeah.
like he's a teacher. He's so like
He's a mean
unapproachable.
teacher.
But like now, as an adult, you look at Kakashi and you're like, oh, you're the boy.
Yeah.
You're my boy.
Yeah, I feel the same way about him that I feel about Rock Lee, who is a character that has not been introduced
Oh,
yet, but
yeah.
will be. That I like did not give enough credit on my initial watch, but is now the absolute fucking king. Yeah. So, is there anything else we need to talk about? This was actually a very like content dense episode. In the future, I might try to shift my balance so that we're spending a little less time on episode summary, a little more time just kind of talking about how we feel. But I wanted to, these first chunks of episodes are very exposition heavy,
Yeah.
and so wanted to kind of prime the world of Naruto as well. It won't be as much description, hopefully, moving forward. But anything else we want to say? Wrapping up, Believe It, episode 1.
Fuck, I was gonna say believe it.
Wrapping it up.
Can we
Believe it.
do like a
team?
clean team Believe It?
I don't know. Can we?
Yeah, I'll count us off on 3, and then we'll hit
Are we
a
doing it
Believe
on
It.
1? Are we doing it on 1? Or
3, 2, 1, Believe It. Okay, yeah. But before that, I would just say any Hinata cosplayers, feel free to DM me.
Jesus.
But only if you're like exclusively a Hinata cosplayer and like you do it
Yeah,
and you do it
nobody
sort of
else.
every day and like not just for cons and like the attitude has to be there. I'm looking for the package.
All right.
And on that note,
On that note, 3, 2, 1.
Believe it!
Nobody's gonna listen to this fucking podcast.